In this video lesson, we will learn about the sum of the angles of any polygon. So you might know, or perhaps you've seen my video lesson about it, but the sum of the angles of a triangle, any triangle, is always 180 degrees. Now triangles are useful and all, but they don't describe every shape that exists. So triangles, we know that the sum of the angles is always 180 degrees. Now for squares, or more generally quadrilaterals, so four-sided shapes, we have sum of angles is 360 degrees, which you also might know. But the question is there something more general? Like, let's say we have a pentagon or an octagon or a 20gon, something with 20 sides. Can we say something? Now you might notice the pattern, and for the pentagon, indeed, it'll be 540 degrees. But it's not necessarily an obvious pattern, and there is a formula for it. And the formula is like this. If the polygon has n sides, so 3, 4, 10, the sum of the angles, the internal angles, that sum is going to be the following formula. It's going to be 180 degrees times n minus 2. So let's confirm it with some of the smaller values of n. So for example, n equals 3 sides is a triangle. So we know that the formula should give us 180 degrees. So let's test it out. We have 180 times 3 minus 2 is 1. So that's just 180, so it's correct, right? So what about n equals 4? Well, that's a quadrilateral, because it's got 4 sides. And if we plug it into the formula, we get 180 times 4 minus 2 is 2, and 2 times 180 is 360 degrees. So it agrees with what we know. So this is the correct formula. So now let's do some problems that will use this fact. So this is the first problem, and we'd like to find the missing angle. There's only one. So I'm going to label it first. And I'm counting here, we got 4 sides. So n equals 4 in our formula. So the sum of the angles has got to be, and here I'm just writing the formula in the corner, 180 degrees times n minus 2. Since n equals 4, we plug it in, and we get 180 times 2 is 360 degrees. Or you can just remember, in this case, that we had a pentagon. So we have 360 degrees, and I'll label the missing angle x. And we know that the sum of the angles is 360. So let's add them together. We got 83 degrees plus 68 degrees plus 50 degrees plus x is equal to 360. And then I'm just going to add these. 83 plus 68 is 151. And then we add on another 50, and we get 201. So I get 201 degrees plus x is equal to 360 degrees. So now we just finish solving for x by subtracting 201 on both sides. And we get x equals 360 minus 201 degrees is 159 degrees. So we've solved for it. The missing angle is 159 degrees. Alright, let's move on to another example. So now we're asked to find the missing angle again. So this time we can see it's a pentagon. We have 5 sides. We plug in 5 into our formula, we get 180 degrees times 3, and we just calculate that's 540 degrees. In this case, again, you could have remembered it from the beginning of the video when I showed you that a pentagon has sum of angles 540 degrees, but it's always useful to plug it into the formula to make sure. So again, I label the missing angle x, and we sum up all the angles and x, and we should get 540 degrees. So to solve for x, I'm just going to add these angles together. The first 2 added are 201 degrees, the second 2 added are 229 degrees, and then we have x. And that all summed together should equal to 540 degrees. And then adding 201 degrees and 229 degrees, we get 430 degrees plus x equals 540 degrees. So we just solve by subtracting. We get x equals 110 degrees. Alright, so we found the missing angle. It's 110 degrees. So in these last 2 examples, we had relatively small n. We had a quadrilateral with 4 sides, pentagon with 5. But in this case, now we're going to do some larger polygons. This one has n equals 6. It's a hexagon. It's got 6 sides. So the point is, it's a regular hexagon, so all the angles are equal. And there's 6 of them. So first of all, the sum is 180 degrees times 6 minus 2, according to the formula. So that's 180 degrees minus 180 degrees times 4, which is equal to 720. It's because 6 minus 2 is equal to 4. So that's the sum of the angles. But each angle is equal, and there's 6 of them. So if we label the angle x, then we have 6x is the sum of all the angles. But this is really easy to solve for x. All we have to do is divide on both sides by 6. So again, each angle is equal and there's 6 of them, so when we add them together, if one of the angles was x, we get 6x. So you divide by 6 and we get 120 degrees, which you could have known already, but if you didn't, it's a useful fact. The interior angle of a regular hexagon is 120 degrees. Now let's do the same thing, but with n equals 8, an octagon. It has 8 sides and 8 angles. So this time we have 8 minus 2 in the formula, which is 6, and when we multiply that times 180, we get 1080. And this time instead of 6x, we have 8x, because we have 8 of the same interior angle. So we have x equals 1080 over 8. And we can calculate that with a calculator or by hand. It doesn't matter, but we'll get the result 135 degrees. So the interior angles of an octagon, a regular octagon, are 135 degrees. And that gives us the answers to both parts of the problem. Well, I hope you found this video lesson useful. Thank you for watching.